Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the greatest show on YouTube. My name's Taco Josh, and that right there is America's pitching coach. It is Justin Arth, and we are here because it is Wild Card Weekend. We have cut the brakes, and we are here.
Brakes aren't working. No, I'm saying, no, the brakes. Guys, why aren't the brakes working?
Because I cut the brakes! Wild card, bitches!
There are 4 matchups happening. Here is how this episode is going to work logistically. We're going to go each series one by one. If you are only interested in your team series, there will be timestamps down in the description and you can skip to your series. For example, if you're just here for Tigers and Cleveland, you can just skip to them. The timestamp will be down there, or Red Sox, Yankees, or whichever ones. If you're going to watch the full episode, just so that you guys know, we're going to start in the National League first and then move to the American League. Like and subscribe if you guys are new. We are so close to 100 subscribers, and we have all kinds of playoff content coming out for you guys here in the next month, 5-6 weeks, however long it takes for the World Series to end. And it's going to be a fun ride. So we would love to have you guys along for it. Justin, it's Wild Card Weekend. How are we feeling today, mi amigo?
I'm feeling pretty good about Wild Card Weekend, despite my Atlanta Braves not being in the postseason. Thank you, Miami Marlins, for making the New York Mets come home with us and chill in Cabo. All right. So, I feel pretty good. I think we've got some really good playoff matchups in the Wild Card Weekend. We got Yankees, Red Sox. We've got a potential upset on the brew in terms of a National League Central team might be taking down the big bad Dodgers. I think we've got some really good postseason matchups. And then, hey, maybe the Chicago Cubs might go blow out some San Diego Padres. So who knows? But let's get into it and talk about it.
You know, the Cubs have a certain catcher on their roster that's potentially always blowing, based on past Walmart parking lot experiences. So, yeah, you're right. Let's. It's an exciting week in baseball. We got 4 playoff series, and all of them are compelling for one reason or another. We're gonna start. Reds, Dodgers. The Reds are the last team in the National League. They got some help, obviously, to get there. They have kind of stumbled their way in. They did not win their last game, but Miami bailed them. This, to me, just overview, 10,000-foot view, is a little bit concerning if I'm the Dodgers. Now, the Dodgers are obviously the heavy favorite because, of course, they are. They're the Dodgers. They have the best team on paper in baseball. But unfortunately, the game is played on the field, and they have not performed up to what everybody has expected, even with the top of their lineup being as disgusting as they are. Now, the Dodgers in general have had pitching problems this whole year. It's been well documented. Their bullpen has not been incredible, to the point that this week Clayton Kershaw both pitched a game out of the pen in the 9th inning in Arizona and made his final regular season start of his career. And Cincinnati has all kinds of pitching. So I guess, Justin, take us where you want to go in this series. What's going to be the big thing? What's the thing to look for?
Yeah, I think your biggest X factor, if you want to call it that, for this series is the Cincinnati pitching. From Andrew Abbott, who we've talked about all year being a pitcher that's had a breakout year. He's not necessarily come on the scene as a nobody, but he's come onto the scene as someone that we kind of expected to have some decent pedigree, but he's taken it to the next level. He's jumped. And really could very well be the ace over Hunter Green in this rotation that we've all kind of thought Hunter Green was going to be the guy. And that's not to say that Hunter Green isn't, because Hunter Green has been really good as of late too. And injuries have just kind of more been his thing. Lodolo's been good. Brady Singer's kind of been up and down, but he seems to get wins whenever he's on the mound. So if the pitching, whoever they decide to throw in this 2 or 3 game, because again, it's best of 3 in the wild card round, whoever they throw, it goes back to the Dodgers stat that we've talked about all year, right? They don't win games if they can't score more than 4 runs, which overall is kind of like a baseball rule in general. But it's really hit the nail on the head here with the Dodgers. And so if this Cincinnati bullpen, if the Cincinnati starters, I think the more pressure here is on the starters. If the starters can hand things to Emilio Pagan and Nick Martinez and Scott Barlow and Graham Ashcraft and those kind of guys, Tony Santillan, if I didn't say him. If they can hand it off to those bullpen guys in the 6th inning, in the 7th inning, heck, even the 8th inning, if you're a Hunter Green or a Andrew Abbott start, like with a 1 or 2 run lead, the Dodgers have only scored 1 or 2. Like there is a legitimate shot that the Dodgers could be on upset alert. Do I 100% believe that's going to happen? Maybe we'll make picks at the end and we'll talk about it. But I do think the biggest X factor in this series is the Cincinnati Reds starting pitching. Can they go deep into games? This Dodger lineup has been better as of late, with a lot of guys over 100 WRC plus. According to Fangraphs, Freddie's been a lot better. Teoscar Hernandez has been good. Shohei's not been as good, but Shohei Ohtani. And Kike Hernandez seems to kind of be turning it on as of late. And you always need that lower level like player on their roster that always becomes a cult hero. And Kike kind of already is that. So maybe the magic is coming in just right for someone like Kike. But yeah, I mean the offense is good, but they are beatable, which is something weird to say with how good this team should be on paper. They're beatable. I mean, the bullpen, we can talk about that here in a minute too. The bullpen for the Dodgers is not very good and has not performed at all. So if this Cincinnati starting pitching can get to the 7th, can get the bullpen to the 8th inning with a 1 or 2 run lead, there's a chance you might blow it open. And then if you put the pressure on the Dodgers at home, they start pushing a little bit. Maybe you come out of there with an upset.
Yeah, I should say we're projecting a lot of what we think the starting pitching is going to be because we're so soon after the regular season is we're so soon after the regular season ended that no one's announced anything as far as starting pitching goes. So we're making some assumptions in this video as to who we think is going to start. Nothing has been announced as we record this. It could have been announced as you're watching this, though. But I think we feel pretty comfortable saying Hunter Green is going to start a game, and I feel pretty comfortable saying Andrew Abbott is going to start a game. Nick Lodolo probably slates to start game 2 or 3. He is coming back from a groin injury. He did say in a press conference he would be ready to pitch on Sunday if needed, so that's optimistic. But again, coming back from injury, you don't know 100% what that's going to look like, especially in the groin. You're trying to push off, what's that actually going to look like on the mound? He seems optimistic though, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you've nailed it. I think the X factor here is the Reds starting pitching. I think if you can just limit, because I do think that the Reds are going to be able to put up some amount of runs on the Dodgers pitching that hasn't been the strongest, right? They don't have that's not a crazy offense the Reds are trotting out, right? And I know that. Like I'm looking at the numbers and I understand that. But I do think that the Reds offense is good enough to put up 3, maybe 4 a game against the Dodgers. And that with their starting pitching, if it goes the way we kind of think, there's at least a shot that we get to an upset or at least a deciding game 3 there on Thursday.
Absolutely. And you look at the last 10 or so days, because again, what do we talk about in postseason baseball, right? It's the guys that get hot at the right time. You're looking at offensively over the last 10 days, what's happened in this Cincinnati organization. Again, they've not been playing amazing baseball. They got in on a loss because they already had the tiebreaker over the New York Mets, who then were beat by Miami. But Tyler Stevenson, 244 WRC plus, a guy that has had high prospect pedigree, hasn't 100% lived up to it due to injuries or just whatever. But he's hitting well. He's in a bottom of a lineup type guy, not a bad catcher by any means, but a bottom of a lineup guy. He's got a 244 WRC plus. Miguel Andujar, another guy that they traded for at the deadline, I believe. 203 WRC plus. And again, he's middle to low end on the order. I think he's like a 5 or 6 hitter for them typically. TJ Friedel, Spencer Steer, 2 guys that are in the top half of that order. They're playing well. Ellie De La Cruz is playing really well, and that's always great to see when your star player's playing well. And then guys like Matt McLain aren't playing well right now, but it's still Matt McLain. So he's someone that if he can just get on base, he can wreak havoc on the base pass and then put more pressure on the Dodger starting pitching. And really, again, in late innings with the Dodger relief pitching, and the more pressure you put on them, the more their pipes are going to bust, and they're probably going to give up 4 or 5 runs. So I mean, the lineup may not be the lineup that the Dodgers will trot out in terms of name power, but these guys are getting hot at the right time. And not to say that they're going to, like, I'm not saying go put all your bets on Cincinnati to take this upset, but I think there's a legitimate shot if the starting pitching does what we think or could very well do.
Yeah. So give me a prediction. Who's winning the series?
I think the Dodgers take it in 3, but I do think it is very close. And I still would not be surprised at all if the Cincinnati Reds take it in 3, or heck, even go in with Hunter Green in game 1 and then Abbott in game 2, or vice versa, something like that, and just go in and pitch 2 pitching duels kind of thing and come out on top with that. And then the bullpen maybe be the story of why the Dodgers are now eliminated. Like I could see it going a couple ways, but I do think the Dodgers somehow scratch and claw their way through in 3 games in the series.
I just I worry about the bullpen. I
Yeah.
do. Even if I mean, so I'm making assumptions here. Uh, you're gonna start Snell likely. Kershaw's they've already said is not on the roster. He started a game today, Sunday as we record this. Yamamoto is likely starting a game. Um, I don't. I just don't trust it. I think I'm gonna go Reds in 3. I'll be the guy. I'll pull the upset trigger here. I
I really want to.
I don't trust it. And I think Dodgers fans, I guess if you're watching, let me know in the comments. I I worry about the bullpen, right? Like
Yeah.
Kirby Yates has
That is
not
a
been
big concern.
spectacular. Tanner Scott has been one of the worst closers in recent memory for like a competitive team. It's just the pitching to me, man. And when you
Yeah.
get to the postseason, unfortunately, pitching matters. And just because I think the Reds' pitching is a step, maybe step and a half better than LA, I'm going to go Cincinnati in 3. I think we get to a game 3 because I think the Dodgers offense is good enough to pop out a stupid game where they put up 10
Yeah.
runs accidentally. But I think I'm pulling the trigger on a Reds upset here.
Okay. I like it. I like it. That's really where my heart goes. But I also, similar to how I have Alabama PTSD as a University of Georgia Bulldog football fan, I have Dodger PTSD as well. I'm never going to bet against the Dodgers, and I know Freddie Freeman's over there, and I know what he does in postseason. So
Yeah.
I just can't go against that.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's move on. Let's go the other National League playoff series here, and that's going to be Cubs Padres. This series takes place in Chicago. If you're a Cubs fan or a Padres fan that skipped to this point in the video, welcome. We're going to talk about your series now. Um, this is happening in Chicago, and I think that that's significant. I think Wrigley is a tough field to go into. The Cubs have been one of the better teams in baseball this whole season. Unfortunately, they've been overshadowed, I should say, by the Brewers, which will be a conversation for a different time. But home field, I think, specifically at Wrigley, does matter. I think
Yeah.
Wrigley is a tough place to go into and win a series. I guess that's my like first blush at this. What's your general feelings on this series?
I mean, this one feels like the clash of like 2 titans that just didn't win their division. Like both of these teams are really good and arguably deserve to win their division. And that's just not the way things shook out. I mean, the Cubs offense has been really, really good as of late. The Padres offense has not been as good as of late, but they have star power. They have name power. Regardless of if Manny Machado has a negative 23 WRC plus over the last 10 days, he's still Manny Machado. Jake Cronenworth, similar. Like Xander Bogaerts, Elias Diaz is a good offensive catcher. Like Gavin Sheets has always come up with big hits. I mean, and I've not even named like Fernando Tatis or Luis Ariz or Jackson Merrill.
Mm,
Like, And then the pitching, like I've seen these guys face the Braves last year in the wild card round, and facing King and Cease, especially now in contract years, are not easy in the postseason. And then that's not mentioning Nick Pivetta, who's been their best starter all year. So San Diego's got pitching. They have star power on offense that maybe isn't performing as of well. And that's not to slight even the Cubs starting pitching, because maybe it's the step behind where the San Diego Padres are. But I do feel like they've got some good starting pitching as well. Like, I'm over here wearing a Cubs jersey. Like, that offense is hot. Like, Michael Busch is on a tear. Calvin Alcantara is doing really well. I mean, they've got leadership with Dansby Swanson. They've got a good offense. Seiya Suzuki's hitting really well. I really think whoever can put the ball in the air in Wrigley is going to be the person or the team that comes out of this as the winner of this. And I'm gonna go Cubs here. Like, I think the Cubs can not. Is it really an upset? I think the Cubs take this over the Padres because they know how to play in their ballpark. The wind will play a factor. Their pitchers know how to pitch in that ballpark. And I mean, it's San Diego too. It's always 75 and sunny. I don't know what the temperatures look like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but it's starting to be fall in Chicago, and that's not always 95 and sunny like it is in Georgia or Texas where we're sitting.
So we're making assumptions here on the starting pitching. I think
Yep.
for San Diego, we're seeing some version of Michael King, Pivetta, and Cease in some order.
Yeah.
For Chicago, Cade Horton being knocked out, he's got a fractured rib, is not nothing for them because he's been really good
Yeah.
the last 2/3 of the season. We kind of think it's going to be Boyd, Shota, and Ray in some order with no
Yep.
Horton. I don't know. I think the X factor here is that the Cubs have home field. And I that might sound like I'm overhyping it, but I really do think that's a tough place to go in and win a game late in the season.
Yeah, I'm taking Cubs in 3. I think this one goes 3 as well. I think the San Diego Padres pitching does get tagged a little bit, but I still think they're really good. I just think this Chicago Cubs offense is coming in too hot. Plus, they know how to play in their ballpark. They're pitchers that may not be as good as what San Diego would be putting on the table, probably. Know how to pitch in this ballpark. Imanaga's been pretty good. Boyd's been pretty good. And Rhea has been good up until this last month or so. So there's there's things to say like the Cubs could do it. Wrigley's going to be rocking. And I mean, I think just if you could tag these San Diego pitchers, who again, I think their 3 is better than the Cubs 3. So why am I picking the Cubs? I just feel like this offense in Chicago, and maybe this is my World Series pick, alluding to something if we do it later, but I don't know. I'm feeling something special about the Cubs.
Okay. The Cubs, I like both these teams are stacked. I think both of these are kind of giants that we're seeing here. I think I like the Cubs lineup just slightly better than the Padres. I think I'm going Cubs in 3, and I think all of these wild card series have potential to be long series. But I'm going to go Cubs in 3. I just think I like the lineup a little bit better. I like what's been happening lately. Uh, and I think the Cubs lineup is deeper. Now, PCA has not been what he was in the first half. In the second half, that's okay. Bush has been pretty good this year. Nico Horner quietly has had a 6 WAR season. That's wild. Not talked about at all.
Yeah.
Kyle Tucker is still a dude. Seiya at points was leading the league in RBIs early in the year. Carson Kelly is just capable of going on random tears as he showed early in the season. I think this Cubs team is good enough that they're going to find a way to win this series. So I'm going to go Cubs in 3 at home um, against the Padres. So I
I
guess
would
if you're
agree.
a fan of either of these teams, let us know. Did we nail it? Did we not? Let us know, I guess, after the series, even though we'll know. Hey, we're stupid or we're geniuses. That's
We
the
got
way
no
that.
ball knowledge.
Yeah. Do we know ball? Do we not know ball? Who's to say? I guess we'll find out in a few days. Let's move on to the American League because that's the other league that happens in baseball. We're gonna save Red Sox Yankees for last. So if you're an AL Central fan, welcome. The Tigers and Guardians get to play each other once again for like
Yeah.
the seventh time in the last couple of weeks. It feels like everybody it seems like is set up. It feels like it's going to be Scooble in game one for Detroit against, I imagine, Williams for Cleveland in game one. Uh, I mean, it's been well documented the Detroit collapse, the Cleveland comeback, however you want to phrase that. Cleveland feels to have all the momentum they walked off in their game 162 against the Texas Rangers. What are your feelings on this series?
Yeah, it's weird because up until the walk off happened today, I was starting to feel this kind of feeling around Cleveland of maybe that 2 month magic of the comeback was actually starting to wear off a little too early. Like you see with my 21 Atlanta Braves or your 23 Rangers, they got in and got hot at the right time, and then just went on a tear through the postseason and ended up with a World Series when they were like the second worst wild card team getting in, or the very last wild card team to get in. And the Cleveland Guardians had that kind of feeling going for them. And then the last, 2 or 3 days of the season started happening, and they're like, hold on, this team might have lost their magic. And so that was kind of a concern to me that's now kind of been alleviated now that you walk off the Rangers and give yourself that extra little jolt of momentum. And Detroit, again, has not been playing really good baseball. They've played good enough baseball to take advantage of Houston just continuing to stumble even worse than they have, just to be able to get in the dance. And it's weird, right? Like Cleveland's offense was so bad for so long. Now they're so good. Their pitching maybe aren't the biggest names, but they are dudes that get the job done. But I will say throwing Messick in game three potentially, or throwing Messick in game two and Bybee in game three. Again, we're projecting what the starting pitching rotation would be, but I think it's safe to say Gavin Williams is your game one starter. Like throwing a rookie in a potentially like game three deciding like move on to the division series type thing could be a little scary. I'm a little skeptical on it. And I mean, I look at the three that the Tigers would probably be throwing, and I still give the pitching advantage to the Tigers despite how poorly they've played. This is the postseason. Like I said with the Reds earlier in our previous video, or earlier in this video, depending on how this gets cut up. The I mean, the Reds have a shot at upsetting the Dodgers if their pitchers can go deep and be as good as they are or they should be on paper. That has this same feeling with the Detroit Tigers. Like Scooble, Mize, and Flaherty are names of guys that we've seen it done at a very high level before. And this is the postseason now. I don't care what you did for 162. It's what do you do in these three? And those names, their baseball cards are better than the baseball cards of the three that the Cleveland Guardians are facing. So I want to see, does Cleveland still have the magic? Because I'm still going to side with the Tigers on this one, thinking that maybe this pitching can spark something for them. Now, do they go deep? They have too many problems. I don't think they go deep. But I think playing the Cleveland Guardians as much as they have and getting beat by the Cleveland Guardians as much as they have puts like a little fire in their butt to say, hey, like now it's win or go home. It was win or go home when we had to play them, but now it's win or go home even more so now. And we've got our best three guys out there that can go out and win postseason games. So I'm going Tigers, and I actually think they get the job done in two.
Interesting, interesting. I First of all, I want to give props to Cleveland. The
Yeah.
comeback they've had is phenomenal, especially after selling at the deadline. It's remarkable what they've been able to do post selling. Now they didn't move Kwan, they didn't move Jose Ramirez, which obviously that's two pretty big pieces. They did move off of Carlos Santana, who has not been phenomenal for the Cubs by any stretch since he's moved, but it's pretty remarkable what they've been able to do post deadline, at that point in the year, 14 and a half back, 15 back, whatever it was at the trade deadline date. You kind of felt like the season was over. I think we felt like their season was over. So to come back is quite phenomenal. Now, all that to say, sorry, Cleveland, the offense worries me. The offense worries me, especially against the Detroit pitching that Justin just laid out for you. I just they don't have guys. They have two people that have an OPS plus over 100, and I know that's not the perfect stat, but it's a good like window into what we're looking at, and that's Jose Ramirez and Kyle Manzardo, who hasn't. He's a DH essentially.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's what you got. Stephen Kwan even is at a 96, so he's even slightly below, or yeah, he's slightly below average, and everybody else is rocking 70s and 80s and 60s. Like this offense, and I know this is going to get cited in every single thing that you read or listen to. The run differential. It's like the run differential this, the run differential that, and I know that Cleveland just finds a way, but man, it concerns me if I were to try to
Yeah.
pick them. So I'm going to go Detroit. I'm going to give Cleveland a game because I just think it's a dumb enough team to squeeze one out. I think the key for Cleveland to win this series is to get into Detroit's bullpen because Detroit
Yeah.
doesn't have a lockdown like closer type in there. They have a lot of really good relievers, but they don't have that one that you're like once it gets to them, it's kind of over. Like you can argue, I guess, Brant Hunter, but Will Vest has been their closer most of the year. He's got a 3 ERA, which isn't bad, but that's not untouchable, right?
Yeah.
Tyler Holton's kind of in the same boat. He's got like a 3.6. Canely is rocking like a 4.3. Their bullpen is touchable. That's the weakness of Detroit, besides their like dedication to losing in the last month. So I'm going to
Yeah.
go Detroit in three, I think. I think that feels fair to me. I guess let us know in the comments what you guys think is going to happen. And that leads us to our last series, maybe the most anticipated of the group. It's going to be Red Sox Yankees. Everybody loves a good Red Sox Yankees rivalry game, and we love it in the playoffs. And now it's a best of three out there in the Bronx. And I'm going to say the same thing that we said about Wrigley. I think home field matters. I think having to go into Yankee Stadium, that matters in this series. Um, I guess give us a rundown. What are you thinking? Just 10,000 foot view. What are we feeling for this series?
Yeah, I've spent the entire episode talking about how pitching wins you championships or wins you playoff series, and I still 100% believe that. But I will say when Yankee Stadium is the venue, I think home runs now play a good bigger picture in how a series can go too. And both of these teams can mash home runs whenever they need to, but the Yankees are one of the best home run hitting teams in baseball. They've got their power hitters hot right now, and Judge and Stanton and Ben Rice. Like they've got guys hot right now. And then as an Atlanta Braves fan myself, a Max Fried stan as myself, knowing that he'll probably be toting the rubber game one. Max does have a 5-something ERA in the career postseason, but I also know what Max did when he got stepped on in a World Series and how he became like 100% Mad Max, shut down, like lockdown ace. And when Max turns it on, Max is a different breed and is one of the best pitchers in baseball when he does. And the postseason, he could very well do that. Regardless of who's on the other side, that's probably Garrett Crochet. Again, amazing matchup if it's Fried Crochet, or heck, if it's even Fried Bayo. But like Fried in game one can go out and fricking dominate and shove. And then if Aaron Judge gets a hold of one, like that might be the thing for game one that like takes everything out of the Boston sales. But hey, like we've kind of doubted Boston all year. They traded Rafi Devers. We thought their season was over. Roman Anthony comes in and playing really well. And they're winning with Roman Anthony, and then he gets hurt, and now the team's like kind of played okay, but they're actually under 500 surprisingly without Roman Anthony, and still got into the playoffs as a pretty solid baseball team that's got a lot of not necessarily nobodies, but a lot of like your second tier players on their roster that were like, oh, well, you're not Rafi Devers, oh, you're not Aaron Judge, you're not Giancarlo Stanton, you're not like, but they're going out there and winning baseball games. And they are going to pitch Crochet. They are going to pitch Bayo. And then they'll throw a young guy out there probably in Connerly early. that has been really good as of late too. That kind of scares me, and that's why again I give the Yankees like at least a pitching advantage as well as an offensive advantage. But I think there is a conversation to be had about like the Yankees playoff demons too, right? Like they've not been able to get over the hump in the World Series. They like Freed again hasn't done well in the postseason overall, minus the World Series game 6 that he pitched, or excuse me, the World Series game 5 that he pitched. So like there's a lot of different things that could be playing against the Yankees here that the Red Sox can go in here again with this being a rivalry game. Everything's amped up and they know, and if anybody knows how to play in Yankee Stadium, it's the Red Sox. So it's going to be must watch TV. But I still think I'm going to side with the Yankees on this one, no matter how much that one pains me.
Okay. I'm going to go Boston, and here's why. I think I think that they're going to split game 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I so believe that in my heart. And game 3 is about to be wheels off because you touched on it. It's probably Connolly early for Boston into some semblance of a bullpen game, likely. And then on the Yankees side, you're looking at like, I mean, Cam Schittler probably or Schmidt potentially, probably Schittler though. And it's like, do you trust Schittler at this point in his career? Like this is where big names are made, is playoff series against your rival. But I don't know that right now I 100% trust Schittler, and I don't know that I trust Early, but I think I trust Early a little bit more than Schittler. Um,
Yeah.
so I think
But
this
but the
comes down
Yankees
to
have options too for that third starter. I mean, I think we know for sure it's going to be Rodon and Freed in some version
order.
of
Yeah,
game 1-2 or game 1-3. But then, I mean, Luis Hill has been good as of late coming back from injury. You've still got Schlittler, as we've said, or Will Warren has gotten some starts for them and been okay. So, I mean, obviously Schlittler has the 0.73 ERA in his last 10. Which is better than Will Warren's 4.35 and is better than the 3 ERA that Luis Hill's rocking. But I mean, they've still got guys like Paul Blackburn sitting around there, and Luke Weaver could maybe come back out of the and be an opener as
yeah.
opposed to your closer. So we've seen it. I mean, David Bednar's there, Camilo Duvall, like they've got good guys on that pitching staff to lock things down. So yeah, they just have to manage it right, and again, get those starters through 6 and turn it over to Weaver, Bednar, Duvall.
Yeah, I am significantly less optimistic on the Yankees bullpen than you are, I think, because I have watched, and Yankee fans have watched. We all remember immediately after the deadline that did not go well for a
Oh
minute,
well,
and
yeah, yeah.
I don't think that it's fully corrected itself at this point. I don't think that Yankees fans would tell you they feel comfortable with Devin Williams coming out for the ninth, or even Luke Weaver at this point coming out for the ninth. I think at best that's like an 80-20 proposition, and you
And
would like
and,
that to
and
be
that's
much lower.
Yeah, and that's a fair that's a fair not comparison, but that's a fair assumption. But I also just believe that the New York Yankees can out hit the Boston Red Sox, like especially in that ballpark.
I feel almost the opposite. I think the Red Sox lineup is deeper. I think this is why this is such a compelling series because I think everything is so paper thin. I I just believe in the group of guys in Boston. Now, Judge is the best hitter in baseball. At this point, I think that's pretty unquestionable, right? You can talk about Otani. Sure, we can have that argument in a different comment section. But I mean, we're looking at like Jazz Chisholm, and then it is you're hoping on Trent Grisham staying hot. Ben Rice is a baseball savant god. But again, do you super trust Ben Rice? I don't know. Do you super trust Jason Dominguez? I don't know. The bullpen scares me a little bit. The fielding scares me a little bit. I feel more comfortable with Boston at this moment in time than I do with the Yankees. So I'm going to go Boston in 3. That's my official prediction, and I think Game 3 is just a mess, and I think that one ends like 9-7 or nine to
Okay.
five or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Yankees in 3 because I feel Fried starts 1, wins that start. Then it's the early versus like Schlittler in game 2, and then Connerly early maybe goes and shoves or whatever to even it. And then Bayo versus Rodon, I would give the leg up to Rodon because Bayo can get in his head.
Okay. Okay. I think that you all should let us know what you think down in the comment section below because obviously this is going to be hotly contested. Red Sox bullpen, by the way, I trust way more. I don't know if I said that,
That is true.
but I
Yeah,
trust Chapman to close out a game more than I trust give me any name in the Yankees bullpen and that person to close out a game
yeah.
for the Yankees. So yeah, I guess let us know. I guess overall, like, wind us down in this video, man. What series are you looking forward to the most of these four?
I mean, honestly, it's got to be Yankees Red Sox. Like, I know I'm picking the Yankees for the sake of the video here, but like, I don't know. The more you talk about the Red Sox, the more I want to change my pick, but I got to stick with it. So,
Okay.
the thing is, I mean, that's going to be a really good one. I think Cubs Padres again is going to be another great watch. Guardians Tigers has a bunch of history, especially over the last week or two, and with the last month or so of the season with the rise and the collapse of both of those organizations. And then, hey, Reds are potentially on upset alert. So I think if you are a baseball lover, the wild card series is definitely something that you want to be paying attention to because I think all four of these series that you're seeing are going to be very compelling for some reason, and it is going to be must-watch baseball. That's not us being sponsored by Major League Baseball saying that, but hey, MLB, if you want to sponsor us,
Yeah,
go ahead and
hit
shoot the
us
money
up.
to our emails.
Phone lines are open.
Baseballjason@gmail.com. But yeah, like I think all four of these matchups are actually really good and really intriguing wild card matchups, which is better than what we've seen in some years past.
Hmm.
And I think any one of these teams that are playing here have a chance to at least get hot and go on a run. I think other teams have better chances at actually winning the World Series if they advance through this than others. But I do think like this could be a series that like they're all going to be dogfights potentially. Um, and even if it's a 2-0 sweep, like it still might be a close 2-0 sweep.
Yeah.
So I do think like these are going to be baseball games you're going to want to watch because then the division series may or may not be as good as what the wild card series will be, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for these next 3 days of baseball, and you guys should too. And you should hit the subscribe button if you made it to this point in the video because we're gonna have playoff breakdowns and recaps the whole time. We're gonna have shorts, everything. So this is a place to be. The series, I mean Red Sox Yankees obviously, but I'll give you another one. I Reds Dodgers to me is the most interesting one. I I just super don't know what's going to happen in that series. That is the biggest wild card to me in this whole thing. Is do the Dodgers pop out a win or does Kershaw's career just end? Right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what's on the line here. Beyond like a deep playoff run is man, if this Kershaw just goes out on a random Sunday afternoon in Seattle, if they don't advance because he's not on the roster. So I don't know. That's the most interesting one to me to watch, but I mean you're right. All of these are going to be pretty interesting for one reason or another. I guess let us know who you think is the most interesting matchup to watch. And Justin's going to give us a player to comment to end the video.
Yeah, the player you are going to comment is your X factor for your series that you're going to watch. Who's going to be the guy that takes this team over the top? Let us know who that X factor is, and that's your player to comment.
There you go. We'll catch y'all in the next one. Take it easy.